Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KitBadger.com, here to bring you my first look at the MAWL C1 Plus by B.E. Meyers. So what is the MAWL? Modular Advanced Weapon Laser. This isn't it, it's just a rock that I just found. I don't have the unit because I got to borrow it and then I had to return it. I got to use it for a number of days down at the 2019 Shooter Symposium. It is pretty cool. While down there, I ended up using it. I was running on a 12.5-inch upper receiver, Criterion barrels built for me on an Aero Precision lower, and thing did great. I ended up using it for the Pressburg night fighter course and also doing some training with Bill Lowers from Tap Rack Tactical. As far as the features and the setup of the MAWL, it's pretty cool. Built into it is a pressure pad. You have two different switches, give you two different options. And up towards the front, everything's streamlined. It's running off one CR123 battery. Up at the front of the unit, you have off, and then you can very distinctly move it over to visible green laser, and then move it further over to your IR laser as well as your IR flood. So has both the IR laser as well as a IR illuminator. Why is this important? Well, it's important in the way BE went about it. Thinking outside the box. It's one of those things where on the civilian side, as far as lasers, what you're limited to, the power is limited versus over on the military side because you have to be eye safe, all this different regulation. So for the sake of this argument, we'll say it's 0.75 milliwatts. I don't remember what it is, but for the sake of argument, 0.75 milliwatts. So every civilian IR laser is like 0.75 milliwatts. Consequently, any laser with an illuminator also uses a 0.75 milliwatt illuminator. What they'll do is they'll take that IR laser and they'll basically refract it, diffuse it, turn it into a beam. This works. Basically, you're using that IR laser, turning it into a little IR flashlight. Problem comes with you're taking that relatively small that's already been like kind of cut down compared to what the military is using. So now you basically have a very low power source creating even less of a throw because you're diffusing it. B. Meyers kind of stepped outside the box and was like, oh, okay, like we're limited with this. All right, sounds good. Like we'll just turn this into a Death Star. And so rather than having that one, again, for the sake of numbers, for this argument, 0.75 milliwatt laser, they just put a bunch of these lasers in there, 6, 7, I don't even know, a dozen, whatever it is. They put a ton of these things. So yeah, like technically still using that lower threshold laser, but since they're using a bunch of them, they're able to actually have a beam that throws really well. Did I get to experience a bunch of that? I did not. Reason being, most of the stuff we were doing was relatively close, and where that actually really shines, no pun intended, is at distance. But hopefully in the future, I will get more time to actually play with and yeah, get some more time behind one of those MAWL C1 Pluses. Having said all of this, initial impressions, I think it's awesome. I think it's much better laid out than pretty much any of the other lasers I've used, whether it's PEC 15 or even on the civilian side, like one of the D-ball lasers. And yeah, like just the ergonomics are there straight off the bat. Being able to have those two switches right there, as well as the way it can lock out. Yeah, everything I think is really well thought out, and to include just the way it's streamlined. Anytime you're running nods and lasers and all these things, it stacks up. Guns get really big, they get really bulky, they get really heavy, and especially some of the older models of lasers, they're poorly designed. Like it's a box sitting on top of your rifle. And so, I mean, just ergonomics alone, I think the MAWL is way ahead of everything else. But like I said, in the future, hopefully I'll get some more time behind it and be able to bring you a comparison as far as beam throw, everything like that. But initial impressions, absolutely positive. So see what happens. And as always, thanks for joining us at KitBadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time. With my leg boots nailed to the floor, dancing the best that I can. What is the MAWL? This isn't it. This is a rock that I just found. but MAWL, Modular Advanced Weapon Laser? Yeah. Thank you.